Principles that will guide you build a better relationship, part 2. Now, I titled this The Feminist Appeal. It's a discourse that is based on, or is divided into 3 sessions. The first session, we're going to acknowledge feminism and appeal to men about how to look into it. Then, the next session, we're going to define feminism and its implication or its impact on society and life as we know it. Then the third session or the third part of this, I'm going to appeal to the both genders to come to what I call the roundtable discussion, where we're going to look at how to solve the problems of feminism as a team, not as enemies in different camps. So with that being said, we'll get into the first part of this conversation, which is, first, feminism is born out of a genuine need by women. Now this is directed to the men. Feminism is born out of a genuine need. And what is that need? Women want to be treated better. They want to know that they are understood, and they want to know that men care for them or society cares for them. It's actually a genuine need. But where the problem comes is the method in which the women are attacking the whole thing. So, having acknowledged it, I will appeal to men, all men out there, especially to those disciplined alpha. Because when I say alpha, a man that hasn't grown into an alpha is not yet a man. And an alpha is not this territorial boss kind of autocratic leader who wants to come into the room and wants to be noticed or wants to dominate everybody. That's not an alpha. An alpha is someone who is a father, cares for his people, and understands a woman, understands the need of a woman, and is able to provide for that need. Now, this is very tricky. When I say provide for the woman, is that a man is not supposed to get close to a woman whose demands will break his neck. That means you be yourself as an alpha, and the right woman will show up in your life at the right time, and you'll be able to manage yourself properly. Now, in this particular field, what puts a lot of men into trouble is the inability to control our desires or urges, and so we find ourselves with the worst kind of women. In the beginning, we think it's love, lovey, until we get in deep and we'll find out that who we're dealing with is actually a rotten fish. It's not a wife material. So, that aside, we as men, we have a great role to play in this movement or in this repair of the society. Why? Because we're the fathers, we're the source. As a man, you're the source. And everything that happens in life passes through you. So I think we as men, we need to wake up to the responsibility that has been trusted on us or trusted at us. I don't know if that's the right English, but please, I don't know. We need to take action, and that action is in reviewing this whole thing with our women. That's what I call the roundtable conversation. So with that being said, we'll get into the second part of this conversation, which is a definition of feminism and the different types of feminists we have and its catastrophic effect on our society. First, I would, please, you forgive me, I'll read it out because I just came to this while preparing for this conversation. I said feminism is a violent and disruptive movement that advocates equal rights for the both genders. Hence, they strive to bring about this equality in all spheres of life. Feminism I term violent and disruptive because though born out of a genuine need, the manner in which or the method in which women are going about it has caused a lot of chaos. Lastly, I said it is a worthy cause to be looked into as a species and as individuals. And based on this need, it is worthy for us to find a viable solution as men and as women. Now, let's not concentrate too much on the definition because it may sound somehow, but the key word I want us to look at there is disruptive and destructive. Because feminism has brought in so much chaos into our lives. Now, but for us to clearly understand this stuff, I need us to go back in history and find out how we came to be like this. First is I'll say that most ancient tribes, or so many ancient tribes, had almost equal rights for men and women. That is, women were not segregated or treated as second-class citizens. I'm talking about like ancient Babylon, the Phoenicians, the Egyptians, the Chinese, certain Chinese cultures. And in the Mesoamerican, that's the indigenous American settlers. Even in Europe, you had the Celtic people, the Vikings, a lot of people, even Druids, who had fairly almost equal rights for the men and the women. Now, I think that this is my own conclusion. I think that one of the reasons why women were distanced from certain responsibilities is that those our ancestors must have discovered the erratic nature or the emotional nature of women. And the fact that women can be easily convinced. I don't want to use the word gullible, but women are easily convinced about things which may run contrary to the principle that they themselves set for themselves. So they may have distanced women from certain responsibilities. Now, secondly, we need to understand that in ancient time, wars was a part of life. A country or a state or a tribe can declare war on you, and it goes on. Now, there was this division of labor where men go to fight wars, and somehow women were now relegated to certain responsibilities. So that helped to structure the way society functioned. These ancient people, some of them did not really have, the gender thing was not an issue. Like from history that I know about the indigenous Americans, there were certain tribes that if a man and a woman got married, they didn't know that the child comes from the man. So in most of these cultures, it's the woman that owns the child. And most women treated their husbands even badly. Now, like this American culture I'm talking about, when a woman wants to divorce her husband, all she needs to do is in the night or early morning, she'll just pack his load and keep it in front of the door. So he wakes up in the morning, he sees his load outside. He knows that he has been served a divorce paper. So from there, he picks his load and goes back to his people. He doesn't beg. Maybe because begging was not allowed. But if he gets back to his family and the family thinks that, or he tells them he still wants this woman, the family may come back to beg. But if they come, there's no assurance because they can beg the woman and she says, no, I don't want to marry this man again. He's a stupid man. He's a foolish man. He doesn't do to me fine. And that's the end of the marriage. Now, if you dig deep, which I will still suggest you do your research on, if you dig deep, you find that most ancient tribes who had almost equal rights with men, in some cases, the women even treated the man terribly. Now, let's come to our modern day feminism. Now, I want to distance something in this conversation, which is, okay, I saw a video of a girl. She's an Igbo girl, a Nigerian like me, and she was saying, I have to be a feminist. Why will I go to a landlord and I want to pay rent and he tells me he cannot rent a house to me because I'm a woman? I'm a feminist. Why will I work in the same place with somebody and he's earning higher than me? Sincerely, I'm very surprised we still have this kind of people in our society today. In the first place, if you go to rent a house in someone's place and he tells you he cannot rent a house to you because get the hell out of there, because that guy is a savage. I mean, there are certain principles or certain ideologies that are no longer functional in this age. How can you tell me you can't rent a house to a woman because she's a woman? You need a man. As in how? I'm surprised. And ever since I finished school and I've been working with people and worked for people and, I've done things with so many people, so many companies, I've never come across a situation whereby a woman was earning less than a man in the same job. Or is in this modern world that almost everybody is a freelancer? You now say, I will pay you less because you're a woman. These things are no longer functional. These things are no longer happening. So I wouldn't want to relate it to all those things. Yes, it happened in the past. It happened, yes, because I understand that, or I know that during the Second World War, when men went to war and women were left with the responsibility of manning the cities, a lot of women did a lot of things and they did it exceedingly fine. Which made, when men came back from the war, I think that must have been where this idea or this saying was developed that what a man can do, a woman can do better. So the women felt that, the women said, the things you people were doing that you prevented us from, we did it because you went to war. But there are a couple of things that one should note there. Isn't that war is madness. What you do in the time of war, you may not do it in time of peace. Now, this does not mean that women are incapacitated or they are inefficient in certain things. They can be efficient in any way. All it needs is for you to be trained, because life or nurturing plays a crucial role in our lives. If you're nurtured into something, you can become that thing. Even if you're the daftest person, you can be nurtured into the most complex kind of work, and you will do it. If you have the attention, if you devote attention to it and you practice, you will do it. Because you are a human being and you have brain. So, those things happened in the past, but in our modern era, I don't see all those things happening. So I'm relating feminism strictly to men and women relationship in terms of marriage and dating and, stuff like that, courtship. That's where I'm zeroing this conversation on. So, from my own understanding or from my own analysis, I've come to divide the feminists into 3 categories. First is the one that seeks equal rights, Like, I understand in certain cultures, women are not allowed to go to school. Women don't have the same right like men. Yeah, that can be, someone can go look at that and, try to repair the damage or try to repair the system. But I think that that generation has died out. Because all the feminists I see on social media and all the feminists I meet in real life, first is they are depriving men. They say men are no longer worthy to be respected and treated like good men. They should be disregarded, disrespected, and all that. Has got to a point that some women say they cannot even cook for their husbands. So, the first level of feminism is the one that is seeking for equal rights. Sometimes they are not loud, sometimes they are loud, sometimes they may have formed movements in the past, because over the generations of life, I'm talking as far back as the 17th, 16th, even 10th century, there have always been this rise of people who come out and say, yes, you have to change this. equal right person, fully accepted. I'm fully in support of it because there are certain rights that a woman should also have. If a man can go to school, a woman should go to school. Yeah. But that woman should also be ready that after going to school, she should be able to pay her bills. So when a man comes to her, she doesn't put the load of her bill on the man because they are equal. So that's accepted. Now the next level of feminists is those that I call angry women, which is more of what I see on social media and in real life. A lot of feminists just think they are feminists, but for me, they are just rebels. You're just rebelling to what you don't even understand because they lack the background knowledge for which with which they can implement what they are seeking for. What do I mean? Now, sometimes women say that men are heartless, men are brutes, men beat people, men spank them. But at the same time, you're saying that men are brutes, they beat people. If we take a statistics, I believe more women beat their children than men. At least as a Nigerian, the one I have seen, no statistics will convince me that more men beat their children. Women beat their children like thieves. So, in fact, I've seen women that beat their children. There was one I experienced at where I was sitting, my whole body was shaking. And the woman saw that I wasn't comfortable with what she was doing. But I just respected myself because she's somebody's wife. And moreover, society has so degenerated that you can't come out and correct somebody who's doing the wrong thing. Now you're picking. So I just kept quiet. But after that day, that woman started greeting me. I believe it's a compensation for trying to make me feel that maybe she's a good person or that she's trying to apologize to me for what she did. Because she saw that I was visibly angry and I was holding myself from doing what was in my mind because she was beating her daughter like a thief. You know, when they are lynching somebody, that's how this woman was beating her daughter. What did the daughter do? I think she sent her on errand and the girl wasted so much time. I bet the girl came back with the wrong thing, something like that. And she started beating the girl. So when you beat a child, let's assume you beat a male child, your male child. Then tomorrow you want him not to beat his girlfriend or his wife or his own children. So how are you now stopping that thing that you said you want to stop? Because you're just saying it because your husband is beating you or your man is beating you and you think he's wrong. But you beat more than him. So I think there has to be a knowledgeable approach to it. That if you say men are brutes, men are beating you, fine. Men should stop beating, but you have to start it first. You have to stop beating your children. And you have to stop spanking, whether it's in the school, whether it's anywhere. You have to stop spanking children. You have to stop beating them. Because that's the only way that you can stop it in a generational way. Because when you beat a child, what you're telling that child is whenever you're in conflict with people, if you're physically stronger than them, beat them into submission. Because that's exactly what you're doing. Because life has been, we are now so knowledgeable that we understand that beating children doesn't change anything. It doesn't make a child understand discipline. In fact, as a matter of fact, it alienates you from the child. It makes certain children hate some of their parents because they beat. Nobody likes to be beaten. Nobody. No human. Even animals don't like you to beat them. Come to talk of a human being who has reason, who can hurt you. You know, so we have a lot of angry women who don't understand feminism or who don't even understand what they're fighting, coming to social media and making a lot of noise. Now, the third level of feminists, I think these ones are the most dangerous ones. These ones will tell you what a man can do, a woman can do it better. And I keep wondering, how many women can you impregnate? I don't know. Now, I always emphasize, men are not better than women. Women are not better than men. The two genders complement each other. No one is superior. Rather, we respect each other based on the leadership, based on our efficiency, based on what we know best how to do. Not to say I am better than you. You can't be better than anybody. If your brain is better than your hand, after your brain do all the thinking, if your hand refuses to walk or write or do anything, how will it be? Or if your eye sees everything and your mouth says, I'll be smooth for the rest of my life, and the hand says, I won't move anywhere, I'm not going anywhere. Or after you do everything, your legs say, I'm not going anywhere today, and me and you will sit down here. That means you sit down somewhere for the rest of your life. Except you hire people to be carrying you left, right, and center. So, angry feminists are the ones that are causing the greatest damage, because there is this anger within them that causes them to attack men. And by these attacks and by these things, what we're doing is creating a loop, creating a circle that never ends. Because when you attack a man, he sees you like, this man, this woman is challenging me. Then he increases his dominance. Then you what? Increase your attack. So, it keeps growing, keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you guys get nowhere. Resulting in division in the family, hatred for each other, divorce. Like these days you find a lot of people are saying, my children are not going to be, my children are not going to get married. That's for their children, not even them. A lot of people now are saying, there's no need for marriage. Even that is a normal thing, because most women, once they acquire so much money, say there's no need for a man. Because maybe at such times they begin to experience what it feels to be like a man, work hard, make money, and pay the bills. So they are weighed out and they don't need any extra stress in their lives. So there's a devastating effect of feminism on our society, which calls for action on the both sides, on the both genders. Because if humanity will survive, if the next generation will live happily, then we need to rewrite the script now. We need to readjust the things we're doing now. We need to create that environment for peace to reign, for harmony to be there. We need to bring out our best in our interaction with each other, because we're working as a team. Now, let's get to the third part of this conversation, which is that I want to appeal to the both genders. Let us come together on the round table and discuss feminism and masculinism. Because beside feminism is also the belief that men are superior to women. It's also a problem. And that has degenerated a lot of definitions and principles. Like, some people define the alpha male as someone who dominates. You don't dominate a woman. Because if you dominate a woman, she will deal with you. She will deal with you. Because women have very subtle powers. Their powers are very subtle. It's not like men that are loud, no. So, you don't dominate a woman. And you don't treat a woman bad. Celine Dion sang a song. She said, treat her like a lady. You make a good girl crazy if you don't treat her like a lady. Yes, you treat her like a lady. But also there is a catch there. It's not every woman you treat like a lady, because it's not every woman that is a wife material for you, or that is even a dating material for you. You have to look for the one that is compatible with you. That's the one you treat like a lady. Because let's assume you're a guy working for your career, trying to bring your life together, find your footing, increase your stuff and all that. And you go get married to a woman that is living the life of the party, flexing all around. How can you treat her like that? You cannot. Because you don't have the time. And you don't even have the finance. If you want to do that, you will derail from your career. So treat a lady like a lady, but there's a catch to it, okay? So we need to come together to what I call the round table conversation. Now, there are a couple of reasons why I think that the both genders need to come together to work this out. First is that men are also hot. Men are as hot as women are. Why? Because a lot of us are living the life that that was trusted on us, a life that was heaped upon us, a life that we were thrown into, a life that we did not prepare for ourselves, a life that is difficult for us because we have been groomed to believe that as a man you shouldn't show your pain. It is so bad that sometimes as a man you share your pain with your woman in the hope that she'll provide a kind of emotional support. And the next thing she starts laughing at you like, this guy is a CC, he can't even solve his problem. We have been taught that to be a man means you have to endure everything. And it is the same endurance that is killing us. It is the same endurance that is pushing us to do those things that are even destructive to ourselves. Example, workaholism, alcoholism, drug abuse, and so many other things. But the most noticeable non-destructive one to an extent, I would say non-destructive to an extent because it is still destructive to the man, is workaholism. A lot of men are working themselves to death just to satisfy a family that even the woman may have poisoned the mind of the kids. The kids hate the man. We've been carrying that load. We've been conditioned to believe that as a man, we must bear it. So sometimes a man is breaking, but he doesn't even his friends don't even know how to advise or encourage him. Or his friends may even laugh at him when he talks about his problem. They will commonize it. And it is killing. We have been groomed to believe that we must bear every pain. So even when you get married to an ungrateful, entitlement mentality woman, you bear the pain. So men are also suffering. Some men, if given the opportunity, naturally would not like to get married. But society has made that when you get to an age, you must get married. If not, if you don't, everybody's, useless man. This, that. But the truth is, some men don't even want to get married. Some men don't even want to have kids. But society pressures men into doing these things because it is a right thing. Who made it right? God himself wasn't married. His son, Jesus Christ, did not marry. Who be a wife? What are they avoiding? Even Satan did not marry after deceiving Eve. He did not marry. Waiting in the run for. What is he afraid of? Why is he running? So we need to come to the round table because men are also hot, and we have a reason to want to solve our problems. Some men are the problems facing them is so complex that they don't even know how to express these problems because our grooming has groomed us to suppress our emotions so bad that sometimes when there is an emotional component to talking about our challenges, we even get lost halfway. We don't even know how to talk about it. If you think I'm lying, examine yourself. If you're a man or if you're a woman, observe your man. Tell him to tell you a story about something that has an emotional component. You find that he may be, on the logical side of the story, he may be very talking. When it gets to that emotional part, somehow he'll be wobbling his mouth because he's lost. Because we were not taught to manage our emotions. And the most devastating effect of that is that numbing our emotions numbs us from understanding women. So most men look at women and they look at them like one crazy creature that fell off from another galaxy. So some men will tell you women are very difficult. Then some men downplay the irrational nature of women. When I use the word irrational, it's not in a derogatory form. You have the logical brain. The logical brain is the left side, and the right side is the irrational side. So a lot of men now downplay it, say, they are drama queen, they are this, they are that, and all that. But at the end of the day, this is the other part of you. So we need to work as a team. We need to come together and understand that, yes, there is a problem. And we cannot fix it by pitching our tent on different sides and attacking each other. We fix it by coming together, sit down on a round table, and discuss it like reasonable, responsible people. Not throwing, casting aspersion on people. No. We are a team, the man and the woman. In fact, maybe for us to understand this better, let's look at the brain. The brain is divided into two hemispheres, the left side and the right side. Women think more from the right side. Men think more from the left side. The left side is the logical side, logic, mathematics, and 1 + 1, 2, that, linear, straight, A leads to B, B leads to C. The right side is the logical side. It's not logical in anything. It just imagination flows there, everything. Now, some men tend to downplay it because they are ignorant of the benefit of the right side. But it is the right side that is behind everything you see. Both all the invention you see today, both your phone came from the right side of the brain. Because that's the imaginative side of the brain. It doesn't rely on logic, because if you rely on logic, it will never do anything. So it has to imagine something and believe it's possible. Then the right brain will follow. So, like the Holy Writ will tell you, when a man and a woman get married, they become one. That's the only place where that's the only mathematics where 1 and 1 is still 1. That's because the right and the left brain have synchronized. Unlike where you have just the right brain or just the left brain. Now the right brain creates order, discipline, focus. The left brain creates the energy needed. The left brain is the multiplier. That's why a man gives a woman sperm and 9 months later she has produced the baby. Because the left brain is the nurturing side. A woman is the nurturer that nurtures a man into greatness. It's just like when your woman encourages you, gives you good words, cherishes you, and talks to you in a motivating way. That man produces what he never knew he could do. But if your woman is the type that abuses you, quarrels with you, fights with you, that man will keep going down and down and down and down. Because why? He's not getting the motivation, he's not getting the nurturing he needs for his vision and goals to come to life. So we need to work as one. We need to work as a team. Because it is this working as a team that will produce what will make us better people. Now, men, we have so much complaint, yes. But we need to look at the women like our mothers and our sisters. Yes. Now, why am I saying this? Because while feminists are doing their feminism, men on the other side are also beefing up their security and saying, I am the man. Like some husbands will tell you, I'm the head of the house, so whatever I say, yes, you're the head. It's just like a car. You're the driver. You know where you are going. But if that engine is bad, will you get there? If the car, or if you're traveling with a plane and halfway the engine knock, what will happen to you? If you are the head, the woman is the neck, or she's the body, or she's the hand. If you are the breadwinner, she's the butter winner. I know when you miss bread and butter, or bread and sandwich, it makes sense. So, yes, you are the head, but that head is not a leadership by authoritarian system or autocratic system of government. You're the head, but you are a leader. You lead. Now, this doesn't mean that women don't have something to offer. They do. Or women cannot, or their rights or their boundaries should be disrespected. No, women have boundaries and it should be respected by you as a man. I remember one time I met a friend, I met a girl, we became friends. As at then, I think I was about 39, 40. She was 19. We became friends because I saw she liked me so much. Maybe if I was that type, I would have even dated her. But me, I know fit. I can't even date her. How can a 13-year-old date 19 years? For me, that's child abuse. Even now, as I am 44, I don't think I can marry a girl that is less than 35. She must be between 35 and maybe 49, 50. I'll look at that like a kid. She may not even be able to understand me, yes. So, we were friends. And I used to call her. We talk. So one day while we were talking, I read some in between the lines, and I was like, is there a specific time that I should call you? She said, yes. Call me between 5 and 7 in the evening. Anything outside that. So I said, anything outside that is unacceptable. She said, yes. And that was how I remained. I only called her between 5 and 7. Now, I did that because I'm a very principled person. I have so much boundaries. In fact, most people who come close to me sometimes get very uncomfortable with me because there are so many things you will tell me to do. I don't do them. It's me. That's my principle. That's my policy. So I respect policy wherever I see it. It doesn't matter whom it's coming from. I respect it. So I think that we as men, we need to step back a little, remove feminism from our view first, then look at the women for who they are. They have some good qualities, which when we apply certain changes that we can discuss in our roundtable conversation. What I say roundtable is you and your woman, no, not two sabias on. But in your relationship, you guys need to come to an understanding of how things should work. This also means that you don't just jump into a relationship with somebody you don't know and expect that it will work out fine. You have to be friends with people, with somebody. You have to be friends with somebody first. So you both understand each other and know what's going on in your life. So that you can be a guide. You can connect. There was one day I was discussing with somebody. So she said something. We're talking about age difference. And I was saying that I said I was about 35. So I said I wouldn't be able, if the opportunity comes for me to get married, I won't marry a girl that is less than 30. Because maybe at the end of the day, we may not even. I was just giving she now said, on our two, no even play the same kind of music. I just laughed. So the both of you may not even be able to play the same kind of music. But you have to find a way. Okay? It is our responsibility. Now, but for those men that are already married, man, but if we remove men out of it, I don't know what to say to you. Honestly, I don't know, but you are in a hot frying pan because it may be very difficult for you to create that balance. Because your wife, she may be that dangerous feminist who believes that she's better than you. So there's nothing you will tell her. Anything you tell her, anything you say will be used against you. So I wouldn't know. But for those of us that are not married yet, you need to pay close attention so that the woman you choose the one that will not give you problem as a feminist. Because my general advice is that men should avoid marrying feminists if you want peace of mind. Because one truth is, in marriage, men also sacrifice. Men sacrifice a lot for peace to reign. And once that peace starts reigning, gradually to tell on your health. So, we need to come together as a gender and solve this problem. It's a serious problem. And it's a serious problem that affects our what do I use now? It affects our existence, yes. Because if people stop getting married, the population of the world will reduce. population will reduce, and if it reduces, so we need to come together. We need to work as a team and create a viable solution that is compatible and takes every factor into consideration. This is an appeal. As a man, as a woman, if you're a feminist, I need you to slow down. I need you to slow down, kill the feminist idea first for a while, and understand men as well. Understand the pain men are going through so that you will understand how you yourself is also contributing to the whole challenge that you're facing in your relationship. Because one thing I've come to understand is that women, sometimes who are feminists, when you are dating them, they don't show any feminist. Yes, sir. Everything, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Then after marriage, you're like, I just look you since. You didn't say you get sense. Then they will now want to assert their rights. That's a wrong method. Because you have deceived the man into marriage. You have deceived him, and if you deceive him, you will get fire. That marriage will never be peaceful. For me, I will advise, if you're a feminist, my general advice is if you want to remain a feminist, then stay away from men that are alphas. Go get married to a man that accepts your superiority or your equality. That means from the beginning of every relationship, if a man comes to you, you let him know you're a feminist so that he knows what he's getting involved in. So that if he's the type that wants a feminist for a wife, fine, you guys have you found paradise. But if he's the type that doesn't want a feminist as a partner, he will take his leave. So you don't enslave the man into your life and say, I was just looking at you, you think you have sense. Okay? So we need to do some very serious work. And in that capacity, I'm also thinking of creating a forum or a community where we men and women come together, because that kind of community will help. Because most of the communities I see is either for the men or either for the women. Rarely do I come across, even like on social media, maybe Facebook or something, rarely do I come across communities that are geared towards uniting the two. So if you're watching this now, or if you're listening to this, be aware that sometime in the future I'm going to create a community. Maybe I'll leave the link, I'll create the community on my blog. I'll leave the link down in the comment section or in the link description. But it will not be active now, but with time it will be active. I'm only creating the link to the community page now because I'm doing this video now. Okay, so let us work together as a team and create success in the things we're doing. Cheers.